and the effects of that one shows because it looks like normal Warwick, just a shade different. Oh wait, no, Grey Warwick got updated at some point because he does not look like his. Oh my god, that looks so much better.
Cool. Check the tattoos. Look at the tattoos on Warwick.
Awesome as hell.
Oh man, I want the skin.
It's a cool looking skin. I think Hyena Warwick is still better because of the run animation, which is really
I'm also fairly certain Warwick's got some orangutan blood in his family line. I don't know if you know what an orangutan looks like, but their arms reach all the way down to their ankles. And look at this Warwick. He can scratch his ankles at full height. He's part orangutan, part wolf, I'm telling you.
CLG just does not care. They're like, alright, you warded? We don't, whatever. We're going to invade anyways. They saw the ward go. They attacked the ward.
I like the fact that CLG this time around, the last 3 games have now been invading. Or not even really even invading, just showing their presence, moving forward, and I like it.
They always ward that spot.
Yeah.
That spot or the bushes next to Wraiths. They want to make sure that they have vision of the jungler being Wraiths. Just because with that vision, they just have so many timings. They know it'll take X seconds to get from Wraiths to kill red, from Wraiths to actually gank a lane. Just knowing those timings, knowing that they have that many seconds of just being able to do what they want without jungler interference. It's actually like StarCraft 2 timings in a way.
Yeah, very true. Not necessarily as accurate, but yes, very, very similar principle.
Mm-hmm.
I also quite like this Nautilus skin. He's a miner. Now, let's get some predictions, guys. Where is First Blood going to come from, and who's going to pick it up?
Top lane, going to go to Ola. I'll do that. I'll take the risk. I'll bet against CLG.
Ooh, so from not being a betting man, you're getting very brave as this day's gone on, studio.
Hey, I once made $20 betting on Gamer.B at Evo.
Fair enough, fair enough. So you think First Blood going to go to Olaf in this top lane?
Mm-hmm.
IRC, where is your First Blood?
The support of Nautilus Gang, and we'll have Mundo and Nautilus showing up at around the same time. I think I'm terribly wrong though, because if you look at it, Nautilus is not headed towards that top lane.
Well, you're committed now.
I might be super wrong.
Your money's on the table. You cannot take it back. So, unlucky
not
studio.
The fake money. Not the fake money.
Not the fake money. And now we do have some really cool skins in this top lane. I've never seen that Warwick skin before. And maybe we'll watch a little bit more of this bottom lane. Keep an eye on this Tristana-Soraka combo. Let's see what happens.
I'll actually watch the Snoop at top lane, heading towards Joe Alicious to bring on the gank.
And that is double buff on Snoopy as well. So level 3, blue and red buff prior to 3 minutes. And sitting waiting for a gank. So very, very incredible speed with that Dr. Mundo. And now just chilling, thinking, planning. What does the Scotsman want to do? That's the real question. Now, if he doesn't land in Cleaver and the red buff, there's no other way to slow Joe Alicious down. He is going to be moving in, so there's a Hungering Strike. It's just too far away. 1 Cleaver, and that's all that's going to really be traded. It's not too bad at the end of the day.
It is a nice bit of pressure, at least. You know, any damage you put on someone is going to be damage that will sustain. Because Olaf has his sustain, but it's not amazing. It's not Warwick sustain. So the damage will stick there. He has to use a health potion now because of it.
And look at this huge creep wave now in front of Joe Alicious. Let's see how he does picking up some last hits under the tower. Opting to go boots pots, as is the big meta these days.
I remember when boots pots was like the weird thing, because you didn't buy Doran's ring or Doran's blade. But those were also better items back then.
Yeah, they were a bit more powerful. The laning phase was a lot more passive as well. And I mean, this is about a year ago. Maybe a little bit more than 8 months to a year, let's call it. And the standard was Doran's on everybody. Doran's shield, Doran's blade, Doran's ring.
And it looks like Broto's either going for getting top or he spotted Snoopy.
So now Snoopy is chasing Broto out of his own jungle. And now we're going to have a... we've seen this scene before. Snoopy this time on the receiving end. He's been slowed, been ignited, and the First Blood is going to go to Olaf. Oh, it was on Mundo, though. And the last time I made you predict, it was the jungler that went down in the same lane that you predicted. So, I think you're psychic, studio.
There's always that spot you want to pressure. There's that place where you want something to go really well for your team. In this case, it's going to be the top lane. And now, look who has double buff. Look who can just kill like crazy.
Yep.
Spam those axes, spam everything.
Yep. Keep undertow, undertow, undertow. What does the cooldown get reduced by if he picks it up? So 4.5 seconds, and it's on a 6.4 second cooldown. So the time it'll take to run towards his axe and pick it up, it'll reset the cooldown.
It's a 1.9 second difference. The best thing you could do actually would be to just throw it right next to him so he picks it right back up.
Yeah.
That's like the continuous DPS crazy Olaf.
Over and over and over. Opting to go back this time round, spending that first blood gold. And Olaf, let's see what he's going to pick up. 29 creep kills, rather. Going double Doran's Blade. Really trying to stamp some authority on this lane. Bonus HP, bonus damage, and the lifesteal. So that'll help. An extra lifesteal in combination with his abilities, his vicious strikes. That'll be able to just keep him topped up and healthier in lane.
A ward actually gets spotted by CLG, or by Gamehopper Gaming from CLG by Nautilus. Caught the very tail end of it, which is really nice because he knows he can avoid that area and he won't be in the vision.
Well, with the first blood going in the favor of Olaf, if he's able to use this double buff and the double Doran's Blades to his advantage, let's see if he can put pressure on Wicked. Cut back on his farm at the moment. He's 8 CS behind, compliments are falling back. And look at that damage. One reckless swing, an auto attack, and the undertow takes off a third of Wicked's life.
And you'll notice Wicked's already at half mana. He can't keep doing this. He can sustain decently, but he'll run out of mana and he will be at his mercy at that point.
Joe Alicious playing really, really well, keeping the lane locked up, keeping it frozen and pushing in favor of his tower. So he's safe. He's in control of the pace of the lane.
With Joe Alicious at 6-2, Wicked can't exactly do anything like ult him to get him out of position or kill him. Wicked is just kind of stuck in position, waiting for just levels and farm.
Yeah.
To slowly trickle towards him. It has Broto's here to get the gank, actually.
And the buffs are going to be wearing off there on Broto in just a second, but as I said, that Nautilus is coming in, so there's the Titan's Wrath. Flash has been blown, and he manages to juke the Riptide as well. Great control.
Dredgeline, a very slow skill. So you can react to it generally, but you cannot outrun it. It has amazingly good range.
Yeah.
So it's always important to go for the sidestep rather than just to outrun it.
And a perfectly timed sidestep.
Mm-hmm. When you do outrun it, though, you feel like a baller. Putting that out there.
Yeah, it is true. And not only did Wicked dodge the dredge line, he also dodged the undertow axe as well.
Mm-hmm. Just so much could have killed Warwick right there. If either of those spells had landed, they might have just decided to keep chasing. They still had their ghost, they still had their flash, they still had mobility, and Wicked did it. So that could have been the end of him right there. Actually, something fun to note, Wicked running heal. That's just not common on Warwick. Just because normally once they ignite, you can ult and finish somebody off with that. But we see an early dragon coming out for CLG. This is their chance to do something. Wicked doing badly in the other line? Go ahead, run with the map, get something else.
Yeah, it is true, especially when you're on a little bit of a disadvantage, giving away that first blood. And they were about 1,000 gold behind, actually, so even with the dragon, they're still a little bit behind. And I think for the first time today, CLG maybe being a little bit out-farmed. Mm-hmm. The lead on Olaf in the top lane. Vlad's got a very small lead in the mid lane. And our bot lane, well, Yellow Pete just unstoppable with those AD carries. He does have an 8 CS advantage.
No, Yellow Pete's behind by 9.
Yellow Pete's on the right. CLG on the right-hand side, not the left. So yeah, for the first time today, they're actually behind.
Yeah, no, this is what we've been seeing all day coming out against CLG. Just they're doing okay, and then they start falling in lanes. Very slowly but surely, the gold lead grows. They'll pick the dragon, but it won't be enough. In this case, it's still kind of the same thing. The experience is going to be the big difference. Because look at Warwick, he's level 6, almost level 7. You look at Joe Alicious, he just at level 8.
Yeah. He's fallen back, picked up the Ruby Crystal and the Longsword. So we're going to probably be working that towards his Phage and Frozen Mallet. In the bottom lane, now then while that's going on, Riceland picks up a kill onto Froggen in the mid lane, 1v1. He did blow Hemoplay, Ghost, and Ignite though. So, well played there. Maybe we should rewind and watch it. And
it's up to you.
Kill. So let's have a look here. It's going to come up in just a second's time. And there goes all the damage. Keep an eye on that live stream. This is the first time we've used replay all day. So this is a new experience for me. Keeping a close eye. The dissonance been going down. And Riceland moving forward. Maybe I went a little bit too far back. How are things looking at the live stream there, Studio?
Looks like we have a lane gank coming out onto Wicked in the top lane, but nothing, no excitement quite yet. Oh man, my voice slowly disappearing.
Well, that was the replay of today's second kill. That was pretty cool. And we didn't even miss anything other than some farm.
Mm-hmm.
So
if you jump alive twice just to make sure it goes in, sometimes it will only take you to some random spot. I found out. Actually, not at the front myself. I was 2 seconds behind.
Well, I just hit to jump to live myself. I watched Dr. Munda moonwalking for a little bit. He lands an Infector Cleaver onto Rice, and here comes the Sanguine Pool, which I feel is very, very early. He does have his ultimate available. Oh no, it's still on cooldown. Red buff Buster Cleavers is sticking on him. There now Snoopy putting his ultimate up. Depth Charge coming out. Wish coming out as well. It sounded like, oh no, was that a heal? Where did I hear a sound effect for heal? I'm imagining things. It's late. It's late.
Wish is on cooldown. Creepo did use Wish in that fight.
Yeah, I thought I heard it. So, it did come out, did save Mundo there. But good pressure. And getting Vladimir to pop his Sanguine Pool very early on.
Now, unfortunately, when Raceland used that Sanguine Pool, he was still slowed by the Cleaver. He had just gotten hit by it like half a second beforehand. And when that happens, you don't actually regain your speed in the pool. It's a debuff. It stays on you.
Huge pressure on the bottom line. Yellow Pete playing very aggressively, putting that explosive shot passive onto Graves, or active onto Graves, and then jumping straight onto his head with Rocket Jump. But quick draws away, and Mr. Rawls gets to safety.
I think I understand how this bot lane works, because normally what you do with Tristana is you jump in, you have some follow-up like Janna, or maybe Alistar, and you try and kill someone right away. In this case, you jump in, you just attack, and immediately back off the pressure. And the idea is, well, normally, as Tristana, you want to just kill someone instantly, but you have the sustain. They don't have a Soraka healing them. You can keep doing this over and over. I think that's really cool, actually.
It makes very good sense. And of course, any burst damage that's going to be coming up from Graves from his buckshot and point blank, it's going to be healed up by that Astral Blessing from Soraka. Mm-hmm. So even if, Soraka does opt to not run away immediately, can heal up any damage that's taken in return.
Just think of it as the most close-range poke lane ever.
The melee ranged poke.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was
it's pretty good.
So,
and that might actually be what CLG needs right now, just some great pressure bottom lane. Tristana 102 CS versus Graves at 108, still a little behind, and Graves rushing a Bloodthirster. Not very common, not sure I understand the decision with that one. Usually you see the Infinity Edge or maybe a Phantom Dancer, but he wants to just, I think, up that buckshot damage.
Yeah, and keep in mind, there's no sustain in his lane, so he doesn't have a heal or any form of gaining health back. So, what's sitting with Janna, you get the bonus damage from all the stacks on Bloodthirster, combine that with the Eye of the Storm bonus damage, and your buckshot and collateral damage are hitting incredibly hard.
Now, Mr. Rawls and Flumus on Janna are going to be very cautious.
There comes a dredge line coming up. Depth Charge is going to be chasing Wicked. That's going to knock him up. Ignite is down on him as well. Is he going to use his ultimate under the tower? Opting to use it right at the last second. Might be enough to kill Joe Alicious, but he does get away with a sliver of health. And a very good gank in that top lane. I wonder if Wicked maybe delayed a second too late on that ultimate.
He was actually unsure what to do, and the reason for that was Joelish was ulted. When he ulted Joelish at the end there, he was still able to move out of that ult, and that was because he used his ult earlier to chase. And I like that because, you know what, there was no chance he was going to get away at that point. Why not try and do some damage? Maybe he dies to the tower.
Yeah, that is true.
If he'd done it faster, I think he would have gotten that kill. But at the same time,
that's my thinking.
It's so weird because you don't ult an Olaf for damage like that ever.
The other thing that would have been very interesting is whether or not that depth charge would have actually knocked up Warwick if he had cast it earlier. I didn't see the duration on time on that particular one. And then, of course, you've got the dredge line, you've got the stun, and you've got the depth charge from Nautilus. So any of those crowd controls will interrupt the infinite duress.
Yep, you got to make sure you. Well, it's not. Nautilus has quite a few CCs. So you have to make sure you don't get hit by them. There's so many.
So waiting for the dragon to get further. While all that's happening, Froggen picks up a kill on Vladimir there in the middle lane. CLG do pick up the dragon. And now all of a sudden, Nautilus gets exhausted. He uses that dredge line to try and get away. Riptide has been used. Monsoon from Janna comes up. A great buckshot from Riles. Puts some decent damage down. But the ulti from Snoopy just too powerful. Another dredge line coming out from Broto. And they've left Graves alone on this tower against a 3-man or 4-man CLG. And all of a sudden, just like that, the gold advantage now swings in favor of CLG. 2 quick kills and a dragon.
A common mistake. You see this all the time. From even teams like CLG will do this every now and then. They'll be by dragon, they'll be trying to go ahead and do something, and they'll just wait too long. They'll be split up, you know. We saw Vladimir dying to Orianna before the fight started. We saw Nautilus just trying to walk in the team. And they just split up too much and try to do something by, like, waiting. Unfortunately, CLGs, they're not going to let you wait and just group up slowly, and eventually, after Dragon is dead, they can, you know, move as a force. You have to be there as a group. You have to be ready to do something. And if you're not, get out of there, because CLG will kill you. Teams will kill you if you're just out of position by Dragon. Happens all the time.
Well, we've got pressure in the middle lane, we've got pressure on this top lane as well. Joelicious really putting it onto Wicket. And this is the first time today that Wicket's really been on the back foot. Those Berserker strikes coming out. And once again, a reckless swing, managing to pick it up. He lands the undertow again onto Snoopy. Snoopy's running forward, and look at the damage. Now Snoopy's the one that's in trouble and has to back off. He's got that sadism active ultimate on and manages to heal up a bit. But Joelicious, Phage, and the Giant's Belt really stamping his authority on this game. Maybe we're going to see a game 3. It's a bit early to say, but if this carries on, 3-0 Brolaf. Chug!
Well said. We're going to enter the team fight phase, and CLG, they're pretty good at this. I think they're one of the best team fight teams out there, because they just know what the other players are doing so well, just in the back of their minds. So I think this is the harder part of the game. This is when teams will just fall apart against CLG. They'll just kind of start losing very slowly but surely. I hope Gamehoppers can do well here.
Yeah, as am I. Keeping an eye on this bottom lane now. Broto's been chilling in that grass for a little while. There was a ward there that has just expired. So, Tristana Soraka, they knew that giant underground miner dude was there. And they didn't put themselves in risk of anything too bad. Warwick in the top lane. He's got Spirit Visage and those Ionian Boots of Lucidity. And Joelicious, he's finished his Merc trades as well as that Phage. And look at the damage. Just over and over and over. Dr. Mundo's coming up, and there comes the Infinity Rest. Another Infected Cleaver does land. Ghost comes up from Joelicious. He doesn't have his ultimate up, so he can't get away from the slows. But the Ghost is enough for him to get away. The Creep's providing some blockage. Just buying him some time to run to safety.
A 5'11" move speed Olaf is nothing to mess with. I wanted to quote Wu-Tang Clan for that one, but I decided against that.
See, now I don't even know what you're referencing. Rap is not my specialty. Ah, okay. Well, I'll take your word for it. You can be the rapper in this cast. I don't mind. I'll be the electro head.
Wu-Tang.
4-2 in kills. Gold is bang on even. 23,300 gold. And for the very first time today, CLG looking a little bit like they've got a game on their hands.
Mm-hmm. This is still anybody's game, a 200 gold difference, that is nothing. But you look at the top lane, Warwick can't stop Olaf at this point. That's terrifying, actually, because they essentially missed the time period where Warwick will just beat up Olaf. And Froggen might get cut out here, actually.
Looking in the middle lane, there it goes. Hemoplague is on him. The depth charge does hit a brilliant long-range dredge line. Shockwave does come up, pulls everybody back. Joelicious yelling that Demacia. Vlad is going to be able to pick up the kill onto Orianna, maybe able to pick up a kill onto Snoopy as well. One more transfusion and Tides of Blood might do it. No, not this time round.
Did you see that beautiful tower tanking? Oh my god, Broito was just at the very edge of tower range, making sure he took every single shot, so Rastlin would not get hit by the tower once, and Munu could not turn on him at all. That was amazing play right there.
And it all started
at the very edge of that tower.
It all started from Brolaf. He tanked that turret for so long. You heard him yelling Demacia in and amongst that, so he didn't get pulled back by Shockwave. He didn't get affected by any of the crowd controls or the slows. And once his health was too low to, stick around, he just ran out of it, and Nautilus took over tanking. Vlad just had complete free reign.
I hate to have to correct you, but it's not Demacia, it's Bromacia.
Is it Bromacia? Oh, my bad. No. That needs to be corrected.
You gotta respect it.
Yeah, my bad. Bromacia, that was a terrible one. You just get so caught up with all the excitement of Demacia.
It's a mistake it'll happen to everybody, and they'll be that one day where they're like, oh yeah, Demacia.
No. This skin, it's Bromacia.
Okay. But that was some good team play. That is a team play that you want to see. That is something that CLG could do right there.
Yeah.
And that is something I love to see, because it means they've got the potential to to really know what's going on in these fights.
What I really like as well is when you consider it to the previous game. I mean, in the previous game, I got very worried for Gamehoppers because it looked like if that was the team that was going to feature now, it was going to be a 2-0'd, CLG. All of a sudden, a little bit of an early game advantage and maybe a little bit of a psychological change. And all of a sudden, they're the ones in the lead. They're the ones 2 gold up, 2 turrets up. 3-0-1 Brolath, who's out farming Wicked, and that's no easy feat.
This is the point in the game where we just kind of go, man, we got our butts kicked. Let's just go ahead and kick their butts now. It's our turn to win. Come on.
Keep an eye on those farm levels, guys. 220 CS for Vladimir at the 21 minute mark. I don't think I've ever seen an average higher than 10. I really don't think I have. That is absolutely amazing.
CLG does take Dragon. They did not initiate a team fight. They won, though.
No.
So that's pretty good.
So pulling that one back at least. And Goldgraph is still very, very close. And we're starting to hit now the big team fight. So this is now when really, this is the true test, all right? If Gamehoppers can't win some team fights now, then I don't know. You're going to give CLG time to pull it back. You're going to give them time to farm and get gold.
Well, CLG still has some great team fight. A landed Orianna, a Warwickle onto Mr. Riles, who does not have a Quicksilver Sash. They can still do quite a bit here. Especially because Mr. Riles has no Dorans. He has no HP. I'm scared he might just get blown up instantly and we'll see the fight go to CLG because Tristana will survive in the back. So there's still a lot of potential coming up for CLG.
Yeah,
and as you can see, Froggen almost has a Rabadon's death cap. Still a decent chunk of gold off. Actually, no. He's about 300 gold off.
I'll tend to go for that instead of finishing his Sorcerer's Boots first, so that's quite interesting. Yeah, I'm going to push down a tower now. So this will be the first tower for CLG. And just using brute force of numbers to really get that down.
They saw Olaf in the top lane. They knew that 4v5 was still going to be in their favor. Especially because Olaf has gotten so much of the farm and the kills this game.
So close with that dredge line. Oriana's skirt got tickled by the dredge line of Broto.
I do like the idea of the dredge line tickler. Same with the Blitz tickler.
So now all of a sudden, we have a 5-man Gamehopper. They're putting some pressure down. They're going to take a tower. CLG not having Mundo there, so not really having that front line to be able to move forward. And it sounds like I've got somebody was saying on IOC that apparently this Warwick skin is the Refer a Friend Warwick skin.
That's where it's from. I could not remember.
Yeah.
That is really cool. Because I remember, like, the artwork looks kind of crappy. I'm going to be honest, the artwork doesn't look good, but the skin looks like Warwick. Just great.
Yeah, exactly.
This looks awesome.
Yeah, I like the tattoos. We're fanboying the skin. Let's get the zoom in. But I'm telling you, he's part orangutan. Those arms, they're just too unnaturally long.
He does remind me of Lanky-Con from BK64. That's right, that game, that crappy game. That game was awful.
Have another look at the farm at the moment. 155 on Olaf to the 122 on Warwick. 242 on Vladimir to 210 on Oriana. Graves sitting 206. Tristana 186. So in all of the lanes, Gamehopper are out farming CLG. And you wonder now, maybe CLG just, did they start a bit overconfident? Did they start a little bit, you know what, we're just going to win this? It could be, a little bit of a mindset change from Gamehopper. Maybe a little bit of underestimation from CLG adds up to the current situation.
I do think the underestimation was there, but look at First Blood, what happened. Mundo walked into a bush that Nautilus was hiding in. And remember from game 1, it was the same thing. They didn't check with the cleaver, they didn't do anything, as Creep was actually getting ulted by Broto.
Yeah, and it does manage to knock up 3 people, but now that's on cooldown. That was an ambitious depth charge, considering that the dredge line was missed. And they had no vision on the rest of the team, and everyone was a little while away, so I don't really think that was the best of ideas. We do have now a lot of pings going down on the top, and look at that damage going out into Joelish. He uses his Ragnarok just to break the Infinite Duress, so Wicked maybe forgetting about that for a second. Now all of the damage going down, he does get pulled back, stunned under the tower. Turret's going to go down in the background. And all of that just from some exchange, poke back and forth between the champions. And Gamehopper's just taking map control.
The question is, why did Wicked ult Joylicious? I think there might be nerves hitting CLG, but they are going to get this tower, either they'll kill it or bring it down to low health, which is going to be a really nice boon for them.
Well, it's been a long day as well. It's many, many games over and over and over. And now this is the first time that I think they're really maybe under pressure. You know, because we've seen games from CLG where they decided to play a slow farm game, a slow passive game. And you always felt like they were in control, but, you know, they opted to play slowly. Now you feel like, hey, maybe this is the first game that they can lose for the day.
And check out the vision CLG has. They have vision in just incredibly defensive places. They have no vision of Baron. They have no vision of the enemy team's jungle. Just everything on their side of the map, because that's where the fights are going, and that's where the fights. That's where the enemy team wants to fight. They want to fight in their territory just so they can win a fight, pick up an objective. Board placement is probably one of the most interesting things about just knowing who has map control. I mean, check out Gamehopper's vision. They're all up in CLG.
Very, very aggressive. That top half of the jungle is almost completely warded. They're going to know exactly when those buffs are being picked up. They're going to know exactly where Gamehoppers are and what they're up to.
This is when I do like carpet bombing boards, by the way, because it's a little less predictable at this point in the game. So you just need to slap those babies everywhere. One
thing that is very interesting, though, is the fact that CLG have managed to pick up those dragons. So even though they're 3 kills behind, 2 turrets behind, they're only 1,000 gold at the 27-minute mark. And that's not a whole lot.
And look who's ready for the next dragon.
Yeah, item-wise, they're really bang on par. And now we got to see whether or not Gamehopper, see if they can hold their metal. An axe to the face on Joe Licious. Eating that S&M axe as opposed to the cardboard Brolaf axe. And we got the Mexican standoff. An all too common League of Legends Mexican standoff. Here comes the Shurelya's Reverie. Broto is moving in as far as he can. He's used his depth charge, knocked up 3 along the way. They've managed to stun Warwick. He's going to now jump on with Infinite Duress along with the damage from Shockwave. Huge burst going down. Olaf is still alive, and the first victim is going to be Warwick. Now they've turned their attention to Dr. Mundo. He's been slowed, he's been damaged. A reckless swing is going to be able to pick up that kill. We got some split now. Yellow Peep being pushed on the right-hand side by Vladimir and Nautilus, where Olaf is just sticking on Soraka. He's moving forward, lost sight of Soraka for just a few seconds. Silence comes up, so no reckless swing. Not going to be enough to save him, though, and the damage comes out along with Ignite. Finally, Olaf goes down. Nautilus was managed to be picked up by Tristan in the background there. Vladimir opting to run back and save his life, and Froggen picks up some exit kills. As the champions are moving away, Vladimir is now challenging Froggen. If Froggen gets some decent damage, a command attack goes out, and the quick draw just managing to keep him alive. Sanguine Pool comes out, another transfusion, Tides of Blood, auto attack finally closes it out. And delayed
I gotta
2
say,
for 4.
That was the most impressive Orianna fight I've ever seen, because A, Froggen played her amazingly well towards the end there, just kiting nonstop, and B, just from Gamehopper, do you know how hard it is to fight Orianna in those situations? Just in these long, narrow corridor, where you can tell if you're getting so much damage off getting a double kill after only Tristana was alive, they got a double kill in that fight. So Dragon will go to CLG. It's not going to be that much of a lost fight, just because Froggen made that fight last for so long.
Yeah. They pulled back the benefit. They pulled back the benefit. And of course, those kills going to Orianna, it's just going to give her even more ability power. She must be close to her Void Staff now.
Void Staff.
Yeah.
She's close, she's close. It's going to be very scary to actually deal with that Orianna. They went for Yellow Pea first. I'd say at this very second, I'm not sure who's scarier, Yellow Pea or Froggen. And unfortunately, Froggen's going to be able to protect both of them with that move speed buff. I'd say CLG's got a very strong fighting chance. Unfortunately, some things did go wrong for them in that fight. Mr. Ralla's got ulted by Warwick, as expected because he has no HP. But the Janna protection was just so good on him. A tornado, we had the knockback, wasn't actually used, but the tornado was still... Actually, I'm not sure what the knockback not being used, but the tornado was used to interrupt Warwick.
Yeah.
And they were able to protect Mr. Wallace long enough for him to just do lots of damage and clean up. And right now, he is ahead of Tristana.
And just the knowledge from Froggen, being able to say, you know what, I'm low health and whatnot, but I've got blue buff. I know everybody else is on low life. And his positional play, we cannot stress enough just how amazing it is. Olaf now finished his Atma's Impaler. So that's pretty interesting at this stage in the game already. 6-1-1 Olaf. 3,000 HP, 212 attack damage.
Actually, my mistake. Graves actually behind Tristana. The Dragon Gold coming into play there. I just realized that the towers don't make up for the Dragon CLG I've been getting.
Yeah, that is true.
And then CLG in a very... Gold is equal.
Keep in mind they would have been able to pick up some of the kill bonus streaks as well. The kill streak bonuses, whatever the correct term would be. So that obviously plays a part. And I mean, look at the gold. We are still bang on even. The only difference is that Gamehopper are not scared to move around. And it's very good to see such a different team to the ones that we've seen in the previous game.
I feel CLG is going to be making some big plays soon. They're in that position. I think the Void Staff just finishing on Oriana is what they needed. And all of the MR, is there actually even that much MR on Gamehopper? I'm seeing very little, actually. So that lack of MR is actually going to be punished even more by the Void Staff. So Oriana is going to be doing a ton of damage right now. And they have to make sure that Oriana dies first, or they're able to just get her in a position where she can't kite. And it's going to be hard because they have to burst through that Wick Mundo combination. And they do not let people go where they please, though they do go where they please on their own.
Dr. Mundo at the minute only got his Warmogs and Randians. Warmogs getting there, 165 bonus, so not too bad.
Oh man, this is actually looking like nothing the Randuins. I think this is actually going to be really bad for Gamehopper. I don't know if they can deal with Froggen and Oriana right now, because they're going to try and get to her, and if they don't try and get to her, she'll win the fight again. Like, she will make it that was a 3-for-2 exchange at the end of that fight. She'll make it a 4-for-3.
Yeah, very, very true. Oops, sorry, I just lost.
That Randuin is actually going to be huge just for the slow. So much control right now coming out from CLG.
The thing with that slow is it's going to slow everybody except for Olaf. As soon as he gets that Ragnarok on, I mean, he's still going to be sticking in jail, and he's the scary one at the moment.
The question is, will he go for Froggen?
Yeah. Can he get to Frog? Well, yeah.
You can get to Froggen for sure.
What's the duration?
If Froggen uses Command Dissonance offensively, he won't have that speed boost himself. But I think it's all going to be about who the focus is in this team fight. Or a good red line pickup, actually. That's enough right there.
For a brief second, CLG actually held the gold lead there by 100 gold, just as they picked up some of that farm. And there we go. CLG farming their way back into this game map objectives. I think they've got, 2 or 3 dragons to just the 1 of...
I don't think has there been a dragon for Gamehopper?
Yeah,
I don't believe so.
Well, there we go. So, case in point, even though they're behind on kills, even though they're behind on farm, controlling dragon is keeping them in this game item-wise.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, actually look at the gold graph there for a couple of seconds. 10k on Olaf, 10k on Vlad, to the 10k on Tristana, and 11,000 on Oriana. I mean, for the team that's, in theory, a little bit behind, they've got the gold leads.
And the person who doesn't have gold right now is Warwick, but that's actually not that big of a deal, just because so many important characters do have that gold for CLG.
That's true. There comes the Shirley's Reverie, and then Cleaver does slow Nautilus down a little bit. He activates his Titan's Wrath as well, maybe a little bit early. Now, Jolish may be a little bit overcommitted. He's 1 versus 4 there. And now the team of Gamehoppers are completely split up. A slow lands in Jolish's back. They're now on the way. They're running back a little bit. The Cleaver goes down. Reckless swing out. And they completely melt Dr. Mundo. He is going to get away with his life, though, with that sadism, giving him as much hit points as he can. Warwick gets a very good ultimate there with that Infinity Duress in the background. But as soon as they turn their attention to him, they completely shut him down and kill him. Nautilus somehow managing to escape, somehow managing to get away, and Janna falls victim to all the attention and love from CLG. CLG now turned all the way up to Baron Nashor. Jumping onto Baron Nashor now at the moment. They don't have Warwick, but they know that that the remainder of Gamehoppers were low. The auto attack damage from Yellow P melting Jolish's, even with that hit points and that armor. And they're staying on Baron. Soraka does go down to the Graves. Well, does go down to a Baron. Compliments of last hit from Graves there. Riptide coming out from Nautilus, going to slow the champions down. And even though they lost Soraka in that, they do pick up Baron. So that's more than a fair trade.
Mm-hmm. There were so many high HP characters still alive for CLG. Like, I think the only person who was low was actually Creepo towards the end. And even if he wasn't, he just gets bursted down instantly. But that fight was all about Oriana just landing her spells non-stop. Even though they did pick up Wicked fairly early in that fight, you just saw Oriana use Dissonance, use Protect on Snoopy. He goes in, he actually is able to walk out of the fight, and that lets him pick up Baron because he still had his HP regen, bring him back up. They still have his Smite. And just, this Oriana, it's all about Oriana right now. Froggen is terrifying. And if they get into fights where Froggen can get good positioning, and Froggen keeps hitting these scary items, he's going to be able to hold off long enough for Tristana to become the scary 700 range AD carry.
Alright, sorry about this. I'm just keeping an eye on ISC at the moment, studio. It sounds like there's some echo going on in the line, so maybe we should just redo the Skype call really quickly.
Sure.
So let's drop that.
I'll call you.
Thank you, thank you. So that's now, let's just lock the camera on Nautilus at the moment. For everybody that was jumping on there, I'm going to re-answer the call. And
how do I sound?
Let's hope the echo is a little bit better. I'm keeping an eye on IRC, so there is no echo now apparently. Hopefully that works. I think Skype hates us.
Yeah.
And we've got a fantastic game on our hands. 35 minutes in. 3,000 gold lead now in favor of CLG. There's still echo apparently. I don't know where this echo's coming from.
I think it has to do with your soundboard.
Yeah, it might be. It sounds like I'm in a tunnel. But I have absolutely no idea how to fix it, unfortunately. So I really, really wish I could.
Yeah, this is a quick shot. This is your first major cast with a co-caster, right?
Correct.
So you know the tech issues you will have to learn to deal with them.
Yeah,
but
it
you're
is
doing
true.
quite fine for your first time.
Thank you very much. I do apologize about the echo. If it is there, I'll be able to review the VODs and keep an eye on it. So next time it'll be better. But for the time being, that's Dragon now down. CLG picking up another Dragon. And
2,500 gold lead.
I suppose we can
Wait,
go
no,
back to
3,500
items.
gold lead. 3,500. Oof.
It's just,
scary.
yeah, it's really starting to grow. And all of a sudden now, Gamehopper, they're the ones that are on the back foot. They were in control for 25 minutes, and the last 10, it's all been CLG.
CLG has just been so spot on with the Dragons this game. They were able to keep farming, and they were doing that well, but the fact that they were able to maintain Dragon control, get an extra 4,000 gold from Dragon this game alone, has just kept them... I mean, if you look at the difference, that is the difference in gold right now. Take out that 4,000, they're behind.
No, exactly. So completely well played to them at the moment. 11-5, there goes the depth charger. Manages to knock up 3. They've turned their potential to yellow P. Are they going to be able to blow him up before the damage goes down, though? The first kill does look like it is Tristana, so she's finally removed from the battle. Nautilus is the next one to go down, and Warwick is the third kill. Oriana's still alive. No damage being put onto Froggen just yet. Dr. Mundo wants Graves. He's trying so hard to get onto that Mr. Riles. But under the turret, it's just not enough. And trading a jungler for 3 is a fair trade any day of the week. The champions' hit points are just so high.
That is exactly the fight they wanted to get into. Right there. They were in open space. You saw that Oriana tried to kite, tried to do something. They just couldn't. They were just nowhere to actually kite them into a narrow passage. It was so open. They were so spread out. It was an anti-Oriana fight, and CLG's going to lose a lot for that. They once again got a bit too confident, a bit too cocky. And though they were ahead, they just lost Barons on how many characters? Actually, Baron seems to have expired. But they just lost a pretty decent chunk of gold in comparison. The gold lead is still in their favor, but they can't let that happen again. They can't let a fight take place where Oriana can't kite and Tristana can't be protected in the back.
Yeah. I was a little bit worried for a second. I was watching that Tristana and I was thinking, is she going to be able to rocket jump away or flash away and start putting some damage on the back line? But the aggression and the pressure from... I forget the name now. Our boys in blue.
Charge?
No, our boys in blue. The team name. Myrmidons?
Oh, Gamehopper.
Thank you, Gamehopper. I just had a complete mind blank there. They managed to focus down Tristana, get rid of all that auto attack damage, and the fight turned in their favor. 14-6 the scoreline.
So well if they fight in a narrow passage, you'll see CLG will just win the fight. It'll be this really long, drawn-out, kitey battle. We'll probably see Snoopet or Wicked die at the beginning. But the HP bars will be in favor of CLG.
And the damage that CLG are putting out at the moment, the burst from Oriana is very good, and the sustained damage from Tristana is very high as well. But every single one of these champions on the Gamehopper side is getting tanky, except for our glass cannon, Graves. You've got high hit point Vlad, high hit point and high armor Nautilus. Really decent tanky Olaf. Just very, very difficult to take these guys out.
Tristana's at the point in the game where she is just absolutely terrifying in the damage she does. 239 damage and then a 1.5 attack speed without rapid fire. She will hit hard, she will hit fast. They need to make sure that Yellow Pete's in the bag doing his thing. And I think once that Bloodthirster finishes, he will just melt everybody in CLG just nonstop, and the AP room will be too much because they just can't get to her. However, he was in range of that depth charge. He was in a position to get initiated on. Essentially, was walking into a Scion stun. You're going to take a lot of damage, and you might die for that. In this case, depth charge is hard to get away from, and you can't flash it, you can't do anything about it, you can't even cleanse it.
So what's your feeling now between Graves and Tristana? So we've hit the point in the game where the champions are super tanky, and the burst from Graves has sort of scaled off. It's very, very powerful in the early and the mid game, but at this point in the late game, who's the more powerful carry?
Right now, Tristana is a better carry in a long-term fight. If we still see a lot of grouping up coming from CLG, and Graves is able to land all of his skills on, or not all of his skills, but some of his skills on multiple people, you'll see his damage will just be so much the burst will be enough to kill someone quickly, and you might see a cleanup follow. But Tristana, with her 700 range, with her rapid fire, will do so much more damage. Though actually Graves does... Who is ahead in items? Oh, Tristana did get that Quicksilver Sash to make her a little bit safer. Graves can still be bursted down pretty easily. Though Graves himself is a very tanky carry.
Nautilus once again, Broto, he's trying to look for a gank. He's trying to set up those depth charges, and I think for the first time today, we've really seen some extremely effective depth charges when the ability has been used and the team is committed afterwards. That's been the big difference. That the team of Gamehoppers has followed that giant landmine.
Broto has been playing his Nautilus very well. Much more impressed than some of the other ones I've seen today. I think the confidence in the team is there. And the team originally from, I believe, I can't remember the name. It was the Myrmidians. I can't remember the initials.
Yeah.
They've been playing for a while, so they're getting there.
They've got nothing to lose. I mean, that's also something you're going to take into account as well. They've got nothing to lose. If they lose this game, they're out. No worries, you know. So why not go all in? Why not play a little bit brave, a little bit more confident? And there goes the Shirley's Reverie. This is how every last team fight has been started. The depth charge is going to catch Tristana, knocking up 3. The undertow comes up from Olaf. Olaf has got all his attention on Tristana. Dredgeline pulls her back, keeps her in range of Olaf. All of a sudden, Nautilus gets pulled miles away, uses that depth charge to pull back. The first death on behalf of Gamehoppers is Olaf. He's finally down. Graves is now putting pressure onto Froggen. Froggen forced to flash and run away. Warwick does pick up a reply kill onto Vladimir, now starting to try to be the cleanup crew. Nautilus goes down after all of that initiation and all of that damage. And the double buff Graves with red is just too much to handle. And, well, strangely enough, after blowing up Tristana, dragging it out, they just completely shut that fight down. And now we're going to see if Jana Graves can take out Nasha. Quick draw from Mr. Ross. He's already taken the attack damage. The red buff is out. And a buckshot to pick up the kill. Buckshot through the wall. Mr. Rolls, you beast.
For every dredge line that's just tickled somebody in the back, that was the bullet that tickled somebody to death.
And I think that was the first time Froggen was caught a little bit out of position. Not really expecting the amount of aggression, and not really expecting that dive through the wall. And ladies and gentlemen, we might be going to a game 3.
What are you doing?
Yeah, we might be going to a game 3.
Yeah.
1 a.m. in the morning. Today, 4 PL. This is the first monthly qualifier for May, guys. We are watching CLG in red facing off against Gamehoppers in blue. And this is game number 2 of a best of 3. Do you think they can do it? Do you think Gamehoppers have the
I think Gamehoppers can do it. I think CLG is making some big mistakes, and Gamehoppers, you know what? They're taking advantage for them. So, CLG, why is Yellow Pete in front like that? Why is he so out of position and getting ulted by Nautilus? At the same time, Gamehoppers, hell yeah. You see Yellow Pete there, kill him. Just wreck him. If somebody is out of position, kill them. Make sure that the Tristana or the Orion, those 2 really scary characters that are doing well against your team, make sure that they die and that they can't do anything. Because I'll love you in this example. So right now Tristana has about, let's just say, 13,000 gold in items. So, or offensive items. So if they're killing Tristana before she can get 4 auto attacks off, that 13,000 gold goes to waste. It's not doing anything for her.
And for the first time, Dragon going the way of Gamehoppers.
I believe I saw Graves crit for over 1,000 damage.
That is insane. Bloodthirster maxed out.
400 AD.
Infinity Edge.
And that number's about to increase. He's going to pot up, I think.
Last Whisper up. And let's see what he decides to spend his cash on. He had
A Guardian Angel.
just outright. Just like that. No problems.
That will be game for CLG. They will not be able to deal with the Guardian Angel Graves. If they do burst him down, then his team should be able to clean up and hold off long enough for Graves to burst right back up and kill them. 706 Graves, 369 CS, 370 CS, and rapidly increasing.
Yeah, 966,024 crits. Crit, crit, crit. Not even Garen could kill this Graves right now.
No offense to Garen, but he'd have to look on this Graves a long time ago. Poor Garen.
So
Tristana, doing okay. Actually, she doesn't have that Guardian Angel. She does have a Bloodthirster, and she just needs to fill that up. Get 30 more damage on it, and she'll be at the same general area damage-wise. But unfortunately, Graves has a GA, which is going to serve him a lot more than the Quicksilver Sash will serve Tristana. Because right now, she's just getting Depth Charge, and you can't Quicksilver knock up.
yeah, and no matter what CC you want to put down onto that Olaf, you can't stop him. So once the Depth Charge has been cast and Olaf is just sticking to Tristana, that's it. I mean, there's no way, there's nothing you can do. So very, very interesting to see how this game is going to play out. 2,000 gold the difference. At this stage in the game, it's no longer even relevant. It's such a small, insignificant number. And it's just going to come down to whichever team makes the mistakes. And at the minute, it's looking like Gamehoppers are going to force a game number 3.
Baron's still up on Joe Alicious, Mr. Rales, and Flumus. Flumus not being that important for that, but they still have Baron on Olaf and Graves, which is huge.
How long is that Baron buff going to last for? Let's have a look on Olaf.
About
Not too much
20
longer.
more seconds. Not too much. Not too much.
Yeah. And everybody that's on stream, thank you guys for tuning in. Grand final today. The first Play for Fame Cup. And hopefully this month is going to get even better.
Some pretty good games played today. This is definitely my favorite game. This is such a good game.
Bar none. It's gone back and forth. Actually, you know what? No, it hasn't gone back and forth. I think Gamehoppers have been in the driving seats. But CLG have used every little advantage that they can. They've farmed every bit of the creeps from their own jungle. They've picked up so many consecutive dragons to keep them in the game. And the individual play coming out from them is just beyond amazing.
They're playing decently. Like, they're playing very well. They are not playing well enough to beat Gamehoppers, though. And that is how well Gamehoppers are playing right now. Okay, that was kind of silly to say on that tower die.
I didn't even see
it. Bit of a
it.
slip up, but you know what? It's 750 gold. Once again, not that important right now.
Yeah, the numbers are so small. It comes down to individual players, it comes down to positioning, and it comes down to whether or not Gamehoppers can repeat what they've been doing. Can they do another Depth Charge, kill Tristana all in?
And I love this. Check out the item build on Mundo. Check out his second and third item.
Dr. Mundo. Philosopher's Stone and Kindle Gem.
Going for a referee.
Yeah.
So he knows that they need to stay mobile. They can't fight them one-on-one. Olaf will just do too much damage. Grave will do too much. So keeping his team mobile, even though Mundo doesn't benefit from that mana regen, that mana regen is completely worthless to him, he realizes that, alright, I'm Snoopy. I need to keep my team alive. I will buy a reverie for this.
Well, keep in mind, Soraka does have one already, so it's going to be the second one for this side, actually. And every single time one of these big team fights has started, it's been by Australia's referee from Broto. He pops that speed boost, runs in, gets in range of the depth charge, and then everybody else just collapses. And yeah, they've taken a few deaths along the way, but it's always been 2 deaths for 4 kills, 2 deaths for 4 kills. Every single time.
And Mr. Rala is always surviving at full health, just being that scary Graves character that he is in the end. It's like, if Graves is still alive at full health, you really didn't win the fight by that much, even if he's the only person alive, because you know what, that one person who's still alive is the most important person on their team.
19-9 the kill score, 10 kills in it, 3,000 gold at the 50-minute mark. I mean, that is just nothing. 3,000 gold between 5 players. It's really not even worth writing home about.
Graves maxed out. Is he just going to be buying potions at this point? Let's see. I think he's saving up for a Phantom Dancer to replace Berserker Graves, which is just going to be that much more He doesn't need to stay
crits.
mobile because
Well,
his
let's have
team's
a look.
doing enough to keep the rest of them in place.
55% crit chance at the moment. So if he does end up to, or opt to replace those Greaves with another Phantom Dancer, it's just going to jump his crit chance an additional 30%. 85% crit chance when he's critting for 1,000 damage. Absolutely crazy.
Baron has worn off, so luckily the crits aren't at 1,000 anymore.
Oh, that's
but they're
right,
really
yeah.
Close.
Yeah.
They're really close. They're at 900, I think.
Going to see what happens. So now we've got some vision, some wards. Gamehoppers, they know that CLG are moving. Slowly starting to split up a little bit.
Is where CLG wants to fight in the jungle. They can use their kite potential quite a bit to stay mobile with the jukes and turns.
Small bit of a split there. Jolicious moving over to the left. Opting not to come backwards and committing coming in from Broto there. Opting not to use the depth charge. He is in range. The depth charge is going to manage to catch Tristana. She flashes and rocket jumps away, so she's miles away. The entire team now turn their attention to Wicked. Wicked's going to be the first one to fall. He is going to go infinite duress. It's delaying it. He's still alive. Wish goes out. Somehow Wicked's still alive with that infinite duress. And for the first time, Gamehopper's may be in trouble. Vladimir goes down. He does manage to pick up one kill onto Warwick. Olaf is the next one to go down. 1 versus 2, and for the first time, CLG look like they can win a fight. How on earth did Warwick stay alive?
Flumus. Oh my god, Flumus might have actually just lost the game if they lose from this exchange. He Janna ulted as Broto dredgelined in Yellow Pete. That would have been the catch. They could have held Yellow Pete really easily from that position.
Unbelievable turnaround.
Oh my god.
Were you watching the hit bar on Warwick by any chance? He was dropped.
I was busy watching Yellow Pete.
Warwick got dropped to a third health. Popped his infinite duress at the very last second. Caught a heal from Soraka, then wish from Soraka, and I think summon a heal, was used as well. And just, he went from no health to so much health. It was unreal.
That one slip up, that one little mistake with the Janna ult. That's enough right there. That's enough where CLG's picking up a Baron. They can come back into this. They've taken out an inhibitor. Graves still has his Guardian Angel. That's huge. So he still has the value of that item. But right now, CLG looking really good with that Baron pickup. So you know who was doing 1,000 damage crits?
Yep.
Well, now Tristana will.
Yep, exactly. They've now retaken the gold lead at 53 minutes. They've retaken the gold lead. And we've got some messages.
They are neck and neck.
Well, I tell you what, let's do a rewind and look at a slightly different portion of that fight. 99, it's a little bit further forward, a little bit further forward, a little bit further back now. Keep an eye, if anything exciting looks like it's about to happen, let me know. So, we'll keep an eye. What we'll do is we'll follow Yellow Pete this time round, and we can see the big point that you were saying. So here comes the dredge line moving in. Let me know if any action's coming in. Moving forward, trying to push forward, but nothing really happening just there. Watch the hit points here from Warwick now. It's completely dropped, reduced all the way down. Still manages to stay alive, and here comes the monsoon from Janna. It's exactly what you said. It pushed Yellow Pete to safety all the way on the right-hand side. And it just allowed the rest of CLG to really focus down Gamehoppers. Really
and that is just
well
an
done.
Unfortunate side effect of Janna's ultimate. It's one of the best ultimates in the game, but it can go wrong.
Yeah.
And just that coordination was a tiny bit off. And I hate to see that happen because they've been playing so well this game.
The other thing as well,
he was actually chasing the Endman.
You could even think for a second that maybe pushing Tristana away was part of the plan. You know, maybe in Fumus's mind, getting Tristana away so that Gamehoppers can focus on and kill Warwick and Mundo would then turn the game, turn the fight in their favor, because Warwick did not deserve to live. He was so low on life, and just everything was blown, and he just came right back into it.
And so, it's funny to know, actually, are you back at live?
Yes, we are back to live.
Okay,
See the turret push. 5v5 standoff. Snoopy now committing. Broto's moving forward. Where's the depth charge? It has knocked up 3 along the way. Dredgeline pulls Tristana all the way back. Warwick still alive in the background. Wish used once more just to keep him alive for a few seconds longer. And this fight now going in the favor of Gamehoppers. Hemoplague is going to pop, and that's going to destroy Dr. Mundo. That might be the GG fight. 5-man Gamehoppers. That may mean we're going to a game number 3, guys.
Check Froggen, check Froggen.
Where is Froggen at the minute? Is he going to try backdoor? Froggen's
Fan
moving
back
forward.
forward. This isn't going to be game over yet.
All right, so he's
I don't
going
know
to
if
take
he
the
can actually
inhibitor.
push against
Well, the
defend
inhibitor's
against
back
Froggen
up.
and push.
Froggen needs to take the inhibitor out. I don't think Froggen's seen the inhibitors up. Oh, no, it's not up. It's just my graphic is not 100% there. Froggen's doing some damage, so that's the first Nexus turret down. Not only is he tanking the turret, he's actually taking Vladimir on 1v1. Ignite goes down, and now Froggen may be able to turn this around. Huge damage there. Keeping an eye on this top lane, and it looks like this is going to be GG. I don't think Froggen's going to be able to outpace Race 5.
Actually, Gamehopper has won the game. We're going to game 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, 1:15 on Sunday morning. Game number 3 of today's Play for Fame monthly qualifier, and Gamehoppers taking a map of CLG.eu. Wow, there's not a lot more that you can say about that. So there is